The Expedition of Alex and Ava. One sunny morning, Alex and Ava put on their explorer hats and grabbed their trusty treasure map. Today was the day of their big expedition right in their own backyard. They hopped into their cardboard rocket ship, ready to zoom off to magical lands. With a big countdown, 3, 2, 1, blast off. They imagined soaring past fluffy clouds and twinkling stars, their hearts full of excitement for the adventure ahead. As their rocket landed softly on the grassy Rainbow River, Alex and Ava stepped out to explore. They met a friendly dragonfly who shimmered with every color of the rainbow. "Welcome, explorers," it buzzed happily. The siblings smiled and followed the dragonfly through sparkling flowers that giggled when touched. Along the way, they found a curious squirrel who showed them secret paths hidden beneath the leaves. Together, they laughed and discovered tiny glowing mushrooms lighting their way. Deeper into their magical backyard, Alex and Ava uncovered a hidden treasure chest under a tall, twisting tree. With wide eyes, they opened it to find shiny stars, twinkling like tiny lanterns. "These are for sharing," Ava said with a smile. Together, they placed the stars all around the garden, making the flowers glow softly and the night twinkle even brighter. Their hearts full of happiness, Alex and Ava knew that the best treasure was the adventure they shared and the new friends they made. The Little Athlete of Lily and Leah. Once upon a sunny day in a backyard full of flowers lived a little girl named Lily and her best friend, Leo the dog. Lily loved to play outside, and so did Leo. One day, she had a bright idea. "Let us be athletes today," she exclaimed. With a big smile, she grabbed her soccer ball, and Leo wagged his tail in agreement. They were ready for an adventure. First, Lily kicked the soccer ball across the grass. "Go, Leo, catch it," she shouted. Leo sprinted after the ball, his ears flapping in the wind. Together, they played and laughed with Lily cheering, "You're the best soccer player, Leo." They ran back and forth, having the greatest time, feeling like real athletes. Next, Lily said, "Let's try jumping rope." She picked up the rope and started swinging it around. "Jump, Leo, jump," she giggled. Leo jumped high, trying to hop over the rope, but sometimes he tangled up. "You're a funny athlete, Leo," Lily laughed. They both fell to the grass, giggling and rolling around. Finally, they decided to have a race. "On your mark, get set, go," Lily shouted. They raced to the big tree at the end of the yard. Leo ran as fast as he could, but Lily was quick too. When they reached the tree, they both flopped down, panting and giggling. "We did it," said Lily. "You're the fastest dog ever." As the sun began to set, Lily hugged Leo tightly. "Today was the best day ever," she said. They learned that it didn't matter if they won or lost, but that they had fun together. And with that thought, they both lay under the big tree, watching the clouds drift by, dreaming of their next adventure as little athletes. The Happy Red Crossbill's Song. High up in the tall pine trees of the sunny forest lived Coco, the happy red crossbill. Every morning, Coco would stretch his wings, fluff his bright red feathers, and sing the sweetest, happiest song. His song was special because his beak was just the right shape to open pine cones and also to make beautiful music. As Coco sang, the sunlight danced through the leaves and the forest seemed to smile along with him. One day, while Coco was singing, a curious squirrel stopped nibbling an acorn and listened. Soon, a fluffy rabbit twitched its nose and hopped closer, enchanted by the happy song. Even a shy little deer peeked out from behind a tree to hear the music. Coco's song was so joyful that it made everyone in the forest want to smile and feel happy too. Excited by his new audience, Coco chirped even louder and added happy little whistles. The squirrel clapped its tiny paws, the rabbit hopped in time, and the deer swayed gently to the rhythm. Soon, butterflies began to flutter all around, joining the happy forest concert. Coco's song had turned into a magical melody that brought all his friends together in a wonderful forest celebration. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with soft pinks and oranges, Coco finished his song with a happy trill. All the animals cheered and thanked him for sharing such a beautiful tune. From that day on, whenever the forest needed a smile, Coco the happy red crossbill would sing his joyful song, reminding everyone that happiness is best when shared with friends. The brave little fireflies glow. Deep in the heart of the forest, where the trees whispered secrets and the moon peeked through the leaves, lived a tiny firefly named Flicker. Flicker was smaller than all the other fireflies, and his glow was the faintest you could imagine. Sometimes, Flicker felt a little sad because he thought his light was too tiny to help anyone. But Flicker was curious and kind, always fluttering around with a hopeful heart. One quiet night, a sudden mist rolled in, covering the forest floor like a fluffy blanket. The animals who lived there began to feel lost and a little scared. The wise old owl hooted, trying to find his way, while the playful rabbit hopped nervously. Flicker saw the worry in their eyes and knew he wanted to help, even if his glow was small. Gathering all his courage, Flicker fluttered ahead, his gentle light glowing steadily in the dark mist. Step by step, he led the animals through the forest, lighting the way with his brave little glow. The animals smiled and followed closely, feeling safe and happy. Flicker realized that even the smallest light can brighten the darkest path when you are brave and kind. When the mist lifted and the stars twinkled brightly again, the animals gathered around Flicker to thank him. The little firefly beamed with pride, his glow shining just a bit brighter than before. From that night on, Flicker knew that being small didn't mean you couldn't make a big difference. And every evening, his brave little glow would shine warmly, reminding everyone that courage and kindness light up the world. The little bunnies hoppity hop. Early one bright morning, little Bunny woke up with a big smile and a wiggle in the nose. Today was the perfect day for the special hoppity hop. Bunny stretched tiny paws, twitched the long ears, and bounced up and down, ready to explore the sunny meadow. Every hop made a soft, boing sound, and the flowers nearby seemed to giggle and sway happily. The butterflies fluttered close, curious about Bunny's cheerful dance. What magical adventures would the Hoppity Hop bring today? As Bunny continued hopping, a little bluebird sang a happy tune from a branch above. Bunny paused and smiled, then invited the bird to join the Hoppity Hop. Together, they bounced and chirped, making music that made the tall grass dance. Suddenly, a shy squirrel peeked out from behind a tree, wondering what all the fun was about. Bunny hopped over and offered a friendly paw. The squirrel joined the dance, and soon the meadow was filled with laughter and joyful hopping. Near the sparkling stream, Bunny saw a patch of flowers that looked a little sad. Bunny's hoppity hop slowed down and softened, landing gently among the petals. With a tiny hop on each flower, Bunny made them smile again, spreading happiness all around. The butterflies twirled in delight, and the sun seemed to shine even brighter. Bunny learned that the magic of the Hoppity Hop was not just about bouncing high, it was about sharing joy and kindness wherever you go. As the sun began to set, little Bunny and the new friends gathered on a soft hilltop, watching the sky turn pink and orange. They all did one big hoppity hop together, laughing and feeling happy inside. Bunny's heart was full of joy from the day's adventures and the wonderful friends made along the way. With a gentle yawn, Bunny snuggled into a cozy patch of grass, dreaming of more hoppity hops and magical days to come. The friendly white-throated sparrow's chirp. In the heart of a bright, green forest lived a little white-throated sparrow named Sunny. Sunny loved to sing cheerful songs every morning, and her chirp was so happy that it made all the animals smile. Rabbits hopped closer, squirrels stopped their busy climbing, and even the shy deer peeked out from behind the trees to listen to Sunny's friendly chirp. The forest felt full of joy whenever Sunny sang her special song. One day, the forest grew very quiet. The wind whispered softly, but no animals played or sang. Sunny was puzzled and chirped her happiest tune, but the animals didn't come. She decided to fly around and find out why the forest was so still. As she fluttered from tree to tree, Sunny saw that her friends were feeling sad because they forgot how to have fun together. Sunny knew just what to do. Sunny chirped a new song, soft and sweet, that reminded everyone of all the fun they had playing hide-and-seek, chasing butterflies, and sharing berries. One by one, the animals' ears perked up, and smiles returned to their faces. The rabbits started hopping, the squirrels began climbing again, and even the shy deer stepped into the sunshine. Sunny's chirp brought back the laughter and joy, filling the forest with happy sounds once more. The brave little purple finches, Crest. In a bright forest glade, there lived a tiny purple finch named Pip. Pip had a special shiny crest that sparkled in the sunshine like a little crown. Every morning, Pip would sing sweet songs and flutter happily from branch to branch. But one windy day, a big gust blew Pip's shiny crest right off his head and far, far away. Pip felt surprised but said, "I will find my crest, no matter what," and flew after it with a brave heart. Pip flew over the tall trees and spotted his crest resting on a soft patch of moss near a wise old turtle. "Hello, Mr. Turtle, have you seen my shiny crest?" Pip chirped. The turtle smiled slowly and said, I see it, little one, but it's on a slippery rock by the stream. You'll need to be brave to reach it." Pip nodded bravely, his wings fluttering with excitement. "I can do it," he chirped. As Pip hopped closer to the stream, a friendly blue butterfly danced around him. "I'll help you," it said with a joyful flutter. Together, they made a plan. The butterfly flew to distract a curious frog, while Pip carefully hopped onto the slippery rock and grabbed his shiny crest with his tiny beak. "I did it," Pip cheered, feeling proud and happy. With his crest safely back on his head, Pip thanked his new friends. "You showed me how brave I can be," he said with a happy chirp. The turtle smiled, the butterfly twirled, and the forest seemed to sparkle even more. Pip flew back to his favorite tree, singing a song about friendship, courage, and shiny little crowns that come from the heart. Paula's perfect penguin. One sunny morning, Paula was playing outside when she heard a tiny, soft waddle near the bushes. She peeked behind the leaves and saw a small penguin shivering and looking all alone. Paula smiled warmly and said, "Hello, little penguin. Are you lost?" The penguin blinked its big eyes and nodded. Paula knew she had to help her new friend find the perfect home. Paula and the penguin decided to go on an adventure to find where the penguin belonged. First, they walked to the snowy mountains nearby. The penguin slid happily on the snow, but Paula noticed it looked a little confused. "Is this your perfect home?" Paula asked, but the penguin shook its head and gave a tiny, playful chirp. Next, they visited a sparkling icy lake. The penguin jumped into the chilly water and swam with big splashes. Paula watched with wide eyes, smiling. But when the penguin climbed out, it looked a little lonely. "Maybe this isn't the perfect place either," Paula whispered. The penguin waddled close and gave her a happy nuzzle. After that, Paula took the penguin to a magical forest full of colorful flowers and tall trees. The penguin hopped around, fascinated by the bright petals and fluttering butterflies. Paula giggled as the penguin tried to catch a butterfly with its flippers. But still, the penguin looked thoughtful. "I think we're close to finding your perfect home," Paula said softly. As the sun began to set, Paula and the penguin sat together on a soft patch of grass. Paula hugged the penguin gently and said, "Maybe your perfect home isn't just one place. Maybe it's right here with me." The penguin chirped happily and snuggled close. Paula smiled, knowing that the perfect home is where you feel loved and safe. Sammy's superhero cape. One sunny morning, Sammy found a bright red cape fluttering on a tree branch in his backyard. It sparkled with tiny stars and felt soft like a cloud. When Sammy put on the cape, he felt a warm, happy tingle inside. "Wow, I must be a superhero now," he giggled. With his cape flying behind him, Sammy decided to help everyone he could today. First, Sammy spotted his friend Mia trying to reach her kite stuck high in a tree. Flapping his cape, Sammy jumped up like a superhero and gently grabbed the kite string. "Here you go, Mia," he said with a big smile. Mia cheered, waving her kite high in the sky. Sammy felt proud and happy, knowing his cape helped bring joy. Next, Sammy heard a soft meow. A tiny kitten was stuck on a tall fence looking scared. Sammy gently wrapped his cape around the kitten and carried it down safely. "Don't worry, little one," Sammy whispered. The kitten purred happily, rubbing its head against Sammy's cheek. Sammy's heart felt even bigger with kindness. As the afternoon sun shone warm, Sammy saw his friends gathered in the park, feeling a little sad because the big slide was broken. Sammy had an idea. With a superhero swoosh, he used his cape to make a colorful blanket fort nearby, turning the day into a fun adventure. Everyone laughed and played, forgetting all about the broken slide. When the sun began to set, Sammy took off his cape and folded it carefully. "Today was the best superhero day ever," he said happily. Even without his cape, Sammy knew that being kind and helping friends made him a real superhero every day. With a big yawn, he smiled, ready for sweet dreams and new adventures tomorrow. The brave little common redpoll's Crest. In a quiet, snowy forest lived a tiny bird named Ruby. She was a common redpoll, little and lively, with a bright red crest that sparkled like a tiny flame on her head. Every morning, Ruby would flutter from branch to branch, singing cheerful songs and playing with her friends, a fluffy rabbit, a clever squirrel, and a kind little fox. Even though she was the smallest, Ruby's red crest made her stand out like a shining star in the white winter woods. One chilly day, the forest grew very cold, colder than ever before. The wind howled and the snow started to fall heavier. Ruby's friends shivered and couldn't find a warm place to stay. The rabbit's burrow was too cold, and the squirrel's tree was covered in ice. Even the fox looked worried. Ruby looked at her glowing crest and wondered, could my little red crest help keep us warm? She decided to try something brave and new. Ruby flew close to her friends and spread her tiny wings wide. Slowly, her bright red crest began to glow warmer and warmer, shining like a glowing ember. The light from her crest wrapped around her friends like a soft, warm blanket. The rabbit's nose stopped twitching from the cold, the squirrel's fur fluffed up, and the fox smiled with relief. Ruby's brave heart made her crest shine brighter than ever, lighting up the snowy forest with warmth and friendship. From that day on, Ruby's red crest was known as the brave little crest. Whenever cold winds blew and snow covered the forest, Ruby would light the way and warm her friends with her glowing heart. She showed everyone that even the smallest bird can shine the brightest when she's brave and kind. And in the magical winter forest, Ruby's light kept all her friends cozy and happy, no matter how cold the world outside became. The Orchestra of Open-Mindedness. Once upon a time, in a colorful forest where the leaves shimmered like rainbows, a clever fox named Felix decided to start a very special orchestra. But this was no ordinary orchestra. Felix invited all his friends, big and small, furry and feathered, to play music together. Each animal had a unique sound and a different instrument, from the tiny drum played by the bouncy rabbit to the gentle flute of the slow-moving turtle. Felix believed that when everyone shared their own music, something magical would happen. At first, the animals tried to play their instruments all at once, and oh, it was a funny jumble of sounds. The squirrel's tiny piano keys clicked quickly, the bird's clear song soared high, and the drumbeat hopped happily along. But the music was a little messy. Felix smiled and said, "Let's listen to each other and try playing together, one by one." So the friends took turns, learning how to blend their sounds like a big, beautiful rainbow of music. As days went by, the Orchestra of Open-Mindedness grew stronger. Every animal listened closely, sharing ideas and trying new tunes. The shy turtle even found courage to play a soft melody that made everyone feel calm and happy. The bird added bright, joyful songs, and the fox's violin tied all the sounds into one sparkling song. Their music told a story of friendship, kindness, and the magic of trying new things together. One sunny morning, the orchestra played their happiest song for all the forest creatures. The music floated through the trees, inviting everyone to join. Soon, even the shyest animals came forward, bringing their own sounds and smiles. Felix twirled with joy, knowing that being open-minded, ready to listen, learn, and share, made their orchestra the most magical music anyone had ever heard. And from that day on, the forest was filled with songs of friendship and wonder forever and ever. The Halloween Adventure of Harry and Hannah. One chilly Halloween evening, Harry and Hannah put on their bright costumes and grabbed their glowing pumpkin lantern. The air was filled with the sweet smell of autumn leaves and candy. They held hands tightly, excited to explore the neighborhood, where every house wore a friendly Halloween smile. As they stepped outside, the sky painted itself purple with twinkling stars, making everything feel a bit magical and new. As they walked down the street, a gentle rustle made them stop. Suddenly, a friendly ghost floated over, waving hello with a big, happy smile. Harry and Hannah giggled and waved back, feeling brave and curious. The ghost told them a secret. Halloween was a time for sharing smiles and making new friends, just like they were doing right now. Further along, a playful black cat with bright green eyes appeared, weaving between their legs. Hannah gently petted the cat, who purred like a tiny motor. The cat seemed to know all the best spots for Halloween fun. It led them to a big oak tree where a wise old owl was perched, blinking slowly and watching over the night with kind eyes. The owl hooted softly and said, "Halloween magic isn't just in costumes or candy. It's in kindness, friendship, and the joy of sharing adventures." Harry and Hannah smiled, feeling the magic sparkle inside their hearts. They thanked the owl, the cat, and the ghost for their new friendship and continued their journey, ready to share Halloween smiles with everyone they met. As the night grew darker, Harry and Hannah's lantern shone bright, guiding their way back home. They felt happy and proud, knowing their Halloween adventure was filled with more than just treats. It was filled with friendship, kindness, and magical moments they would remember forever. Hand in hand, they whispered, "Happy Halloween," and smiled as they reached their cozy doorstep. Benny's brilliant butterfly. One sunny morning, Benny the little bunny hopped out of his cozy burrow and into the garden. The flowers were bright and colorful, and the air smelled sweet. Suddenly, Benny saw a sparkling butterfly fluttering nearby. Its wings shimmered with every color of the rainbow. Benny blinked his big eyes in surprise and smiled. "Hello, brilliant butterfly," he said, feeling excited to meet such a magical friend. The brilliant butterfly twirled through the air and landed gently on Benny's nose. Benny giggled and wiggled his nose. "Would you like to go on an adventure with me?" asked the butterfly with a tiny, friendly voice. Benny nodded quickly, his fluffy tail hopping with joy. Together, they began to explore the garden, finding secret paths, tiny hidden flowers, and shiny pebbles that glittered like stars. As they wandered deeper, Benny and the butterfly came across a little caterpillar stuck on a leaf. "Can you help me?" the caterpillar asked. Benny and the butterfly worked together gently to free the caterpillar. The caterpillar smiled and said, "Thank you. One day I'll become a butterfly too, just like you." Benny felt warm inside, knowing that kindness made their adventure even more special. As the sun began to set, the brilliant butterfly fluttered up high, glowing softly in the golden light. Benny watched in awe as the butterfly sparkled brighter than ever. "Thank you for the wonderful day," Benny said happily. The butterfly smiled and whispered, "Whenever you need a little magic, just look for the colors of the rainbow." Benny waved goodbye, feeling happy and full of new dreams to explore. The Pencil Pals of Paula and Peter. Once upon a time, in a cozy little room, lived two best friends named Paula and Peter. They loved to draw and color together. One sunny afternoon, they gathered all their crayons and colored pencils, ready to create something magical. "Let's draw our own pencil pals," said Paula with a twinkle in her eye. Peter nodded excitedly, and they both started doodling away, their imaginations dancing like butterflies in the air. As they finished their drawings, something amazing happened. The crayons began to shimmer and shake, and out popped their pencil pals. There was a friendly dragon with sparkling scales, a bouncy elephant with colorful ears, and a playful frog that hopped around giggling. "Hooray!" shouted Peter. "Let's go on an adventure." The pencil pals cheered, and together they all jumped into the drawings, landing in a world filled with candy mountains and rainbow rivers. In this magical land, they played hide and seek behind the candy trees and splashed in the rainbow river. The dragon flew high above, the elephant trumpeted happily, and the frog made funny faces that made everyone laugh. Paula and Peter felt so lucky to have such wonderful friends. They danced and sang, creating their own joyful tunes. But soon, it was time to return home. "We'll be back," promised Paula, waving goodbye to their new pals. Back in their cozy room, Paula and Peter looked at their drawings. "What an adventure," said Peter with a big smile. "Let's draw more tomorrow." Paula nodded, her eyes shining with dreams of new pencil pals. And so, they promised to create more amazing adventures together, because with a little imagination, every day could be magical. And who knows, maybe their pencil pals would come back again. The Fantastical Flying Machine. One sunny morning, Leela found a strange, sparkling box in her backyard. Curious, she opened it, and inside was a tiny key that shimmered like stars. Suddenly, a fantastic flying machine appeared, made of bright colors and twinkling lights. Leela and her fluffy cat, Whiskers, climbed inside, feeling their hearts flutter with excitement. The machine buzzed and whirred, ready to take them on a journey beyond the clouds. With a gentle lift, the flying machine soared upward, higher and higher, through a sky painted with pink and orange clouds. Leela and Whiskers giggled as they peeked out the windows, spotting playful birds waving their wings and fluffy clouds shaped like cotton candy. The wind sang a happy song, and everything felt like a dream. Together, they waved hello to the friendly sky creatures and felt their hearts fill with wonder. Suddenly, the machine floated gently onto a cloud that felt soft as pillows. There, Leela met a fluffy cloud bunny who loved to bounce and play. Whiskers made friends with a tiny cloud kitten that purred like the wind. Together, they shared stories and laughter, feeling happy to have made new friends in this magical sky world. When it was time to go, the flying machine hummed softly, ready to carry them home with new memories to treasure forever. The friendly grouse's drum. In the heart of a bright, green forest lived a friendly grouse who loved to explore. One sunny morning, as the grouse wandered near a sparkling stream, it spotted something shiny hidden beneath the bushes. Curious, the grouse carefully brushed away the leaves and found a beautiful red drum with golden edges. The grouse tapped it gently, and a cheerful rhythm echoed through the trees. Excited, the friendly grouse began to drum and dance, inviting all the forest animals to join in the fun. Soon, a fluffy white bunny hopped over, twitching its nose to the beat. A curious squirrel scampered down from a tree, clapping its tiny paws. Even the bluebird perched nearby sang a happy tune along with the drum. The friendly grouse smiled wide and drummed a lively rhythm that made everyone's feet start to wiggle and sway. The forest was filled with music, laughter, and dancing, and every animal felt the joy of being together. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with pink and orange, the friendly grouse and the animals gathered in a big circle. They drummed and danced under the twinkling stars, sharing happy stories and warm smiles. The magical drum had brought the forest friends closer than ever, reminding everyone that music and friendship make the world a brighter place. And from that day on, whenever the friendly grouse played the drum, the whole forest came alive with joy. Daisy the Dancing Deer. Once upon a time, in a bright green forest, lived a happy deer named Daisy. Daisy loved to dance. Every morning, she would prance and twirl under the warm sun, her hooves tapping a joyful rhythm on the soft grass. The birds chirped along, and the butterflies joined her, fluttering around in a colorful dance. Daisy's laughter echoed through the trees, making everyone smile. One sunny day, Daisy decided to invite all her forest friends to a grand dance party. "Come one, come all," she called. Benny the bunny bounced over, Leela the ladybug flew in, and Sammy the squirrel scurried down from a tree. They all gathered around Daisy, excited to dance together. The forest buzzed with laughter and joy as they practiced their moves. But suddenly, dark clouds rolled in and a storm began to brew. The wind howled and rain started to pour. "Oh no," cried Daisy. "What will happen to our dance party?" But then Daisy had a brilliant idea. "Let's dance in the rain," she exclaimed. "We can splash and twirl and have fun, rain or shine." With a big heart and brave hooves, Daisy led the way. They danced and splashed in puddles, twirling and laughing together. The rain couldn't dampen their spirits. The forest echoed with their joyous dancing, and soon the sun peeked out from behind the clouds, creating a beautiful rainbow in the sky. At last, the storm passed, and the forest was filled with the sweet scent of fresh rain. Daisy and her friends cheered. "Our dance party was the best ever," Daisy said, smiling brightly. From that day on, whenever it rained, the animals of the forest danced, just like Daisy taught them, turning every stormy day into a joyful celebration. The brave little toads, Wart. In the heart of a sunny forest pond lived Toby, a brave little toad with a tiny wart that twinkled like a star on his back. Every day, Toby hopped happily among the lily pads, greeting his friends with a cheerful croak. But sometimes, he wondered why his wart sparkled while others didn't have one at all. Even though he was a bit different, Toby loved his wart and dreamed of a big adventure where it could shine bright. One morning, as Toby hopped near the water's edge, he heard a tiny cry. It was Bella, the butterfly, stuck in a spider's web. Without a second thought, Toby leapt forward. His sparkling wart glowed warmly, and the light made the spider pause and gently release Bella. She fluttered free, thanking Toby with a happy dance. Toby felt his wart was magical, and he knew it could help his friends whenever they needed. Later that day, a little frog named Freddie was sad because he lost his way home. Toby's wart sparkled even brighter, lighting the darkening forest path. With Toby's glowing wart leading the way, Freddie hopped safely back to his cozy lily pad. Along the journey, other animals saw the light and followed, feeling safe and happy. Toby realized his tiny wart wasn't just special, it was a beacon of bravery and friendship. That evening, all the forest friends gathered around the pond, celebrating Toby's bravery and his magical wart. They sang songs and danced under the twinkling stars. Toby smiled, feeling proud of his shining wart and the courage it gave him. From that day on, no one ever felt shy about being different, because everyone knew that even the smallest sparkle could light up the whole forest. Six Little Rabbits' Big Hop. Once upon a time, in a meadow filled with colorful flowers, lived 6 little rabbits: Rosie, Benny, Leela, Max, Tilly, and Oliver. They loved to hop and play together every day. One sunny morning, the rabbits gathered under a big oak tree. "Today is the day," said Rosie, her ears bouncing with excitement. "We're going to practice for the great meadow hop." The others cheered, their little tails wiggling in delight. The rabbits hopped and practiced all morning long. They took turns leaping over a small log. Benny was the first to try. He wiggled his nose, took a big breath, and bounced. He soared over the log like a little rocket. Everyone clapped their paws and cheered, "Hooray for Benny!" Next up was Leela, who did a graceful twist in the air as she jumped. "Wow, Leela, you're so fancy," shouted Tilly. As the sun climbed higher, the rabbits grew tired but excited. They gathered in a circle to rest. "What if we all hopped together?" suggested Max. "That would be super fun." Everyone agreed, their eyes sparkling with joy. So they practiced counting together. 1, 2, 3, hop! And they all jumped in unison. It was a big hop, and they landed in a pile of giggles and fluffy tails. Suddenly, a gentle breeze whispered through the meadow, and everyone felt a little magic in the air. "Let's hop all the way to the rainbow," exclaimed Oliver, pointing to a colorful arch in the sky. The rabbits took a deep breath and lined up, ready for the biggest hop of all. With hearts full of courage, they shouted, 1, 2, 3, hop! And off they went, soaring toward the rainbow. They hopped high and far, and it felt like they were flying. The world blurred around them, and they giggled with delight. Finally, they landed softly on a patch of grass under the rainbow. They looked at each other, eyes wide with wonder. "We did it!" they squealed. The 6 little rabbits jumped up and down, celebrating their big hop together. They realized that with teamwork, they could achieve anything they dreamed of. The wordplay of Wendy and William. Wendy and William loved playing with words. One sunny morning, they sat under the giggling tree in their magical garden. "Let's make up a new word," Wendy said with a smile. William thought for a moment and said, "How about fluffernoodle? It sounds like something soft and silly." They both laughed and imagined a fluffy noodle that could wiggle and dance all by itself. Suddenly, the garden around them sparkled as the fluffy noodle appeared, swirling happily in the air. Excited by their new word, Wendy and William decided to create more. William waved his hands and said, "What about Snickerpuff?" Wendy clapped her hands and added, "It sounds like a funny little cloud that tickles you." They imagined the Snickerpuff floating gently, giggling and tickling all the flowers and leaves. As if by magic, a fluffy white cloud appeared, gently brushing petals and making them giggle and sway. The garden was alive with laughter and playful sounds. Wendy thought of a word that sounded like a bounce. "Let's say bopple pop," she giggled. William jumped up and said, "Yes, a word that makes you want to hop and pop like bubbles." They imagined tiny bubbles bouncing all around them, popping softly with happy little sounds. The garden filled with shimmering bubbles that bounced on the leaves and petals, popping gently and making cheerful popping noises. Wendy and William giggled and hopped along, filled with joy from their magical wordplay adventure. The Hexagon of Harmony. One sunny morning, in a meadow full of bright flowers and happy buzzes, 6 friends found something amazing: a glowing hexagon shining right on the soft green grass. The rabbit twitched her nose, the bluebird fluttered her wings, and the turtle slowly walked closer. They all wondered, what is this magical shape? Their eyes sparkled with curiosity, and they decided to explore it together. The fox, with a playful grin, stepped onto one side of the hexagon. Suddenly, soft music began to play. Each friend quickly found a side to stand on, and with every new paw, wing, or foot, a new sound joined the melody. The tiny hedgehog giggled as the tune became brighter, and the squirrel clapped happily. They realized the hexagon made beautiful music when they all joined in together. The turtle smiled warmly and said, "When we all work together, magic happens." The rabbit hopped in delight, and the bluebird sang along with the music. The meadow seemed to dance with them. Flowers swayed, butterflies twirled, and the sunlight sparkled like tiny stars. Their friendship and harmony made everything around them brighter and happier. As the song ended, the hexagon glowed even brighter, and a soft voice whispered, "Harmony makes the world wonderful." The friends looked at each other and laughed, knowing they had found a special secret. From that day on, whenever they met, they would stand on the magical hexagon and share their music, spreading happiness all around the meadow. The happy smile of Henry. Once upon a time, in a bright blue sky, there lived a little son named Henry. Henry was no ordinary son. He had the biggest, happiest smile you could ever imagine. Every morning, he would wake up, stretch his rays, and shine his golden light all around. The clouds would giggle and dance, and the birds would sing sweet songs just for him. One day, Henry noticed his friends, the clouds, looking a little gray and gloomy. "What's wrong, my fluffy friends?" he called out, his smile shining even brighter. The clouds sighed, "We don't feel very happy today." Henry knew just what to do. "Let's play a game," he suggested, his voice sparkling with excitement. Henry gathered all the clouds and said, "Let's race to the rainbow." The clouds perked up, their grayness melting away. Off they zoomed, fluffy and fast, racing through the sky. Henry cheered them on, his laughter ringing like a melody. Before long, the clouds were laughing and playing, their beautiful white fluff shining brightly in Henry's golden glow. When they reached the rainbow, the clouds swirled around it, creating a beautiful display of colors. "Look at us," they exclaimed, feeling happy and bright. Henry's smile grew even wider, for he knew that happiness is best when shared with friends. From that day on, the clouds never forgot to play with Henry and spread their joy across the sky. The Happy Hedgehog's Day. Once upon a time, in a sunny woodland, there lived a happy little hedgehog named Henry. Today was a very special day, Henry's birthday. When he opened his eyes, the sun was shining bright, and the birds were singing sweet melodies. "What a perfect day for an adventure," he squeaked with joy. He stretched his tiny paws and rolled out of his cozy bed made of leaves and moss. Henry was ready to celebrate. Henry scurried out of his home and into the colorful forest. He picked bright flowers and gathered yummy berries. As he danced from flower to flower, he spotted his best friend, Bella the bunny. "Happy birthday, Henry," Bella exclaimed, hopping over with a big basket of delicious carrots. "Let's have a party." Henry's heart filled with happiness as they planned the best birthday celebration ever. Soon, they met Freddie the fox, who wanted to join the fun. "I can help with the games," he said with a sly grin. Then, Tina the tortoise slowly waddled over, bringing a special cake made of tasty leaves. "I baked this just for you, Henry," she said proudly. Now, with all his friends gathered, Henry felt the warmth of friendship all around him. They sang songs, played hide-and-seek, and danced with the butterflies. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange, Henry felt grateful. Surrounded by laughter and love, he knew this was the best birthday ever. "Thank you, everyone," he said, his heart bursting with joy. They all cheered, "Happy birthday, Henry." Together, they watched the stars twinkle, knowing that every day could be happy when shared with friends. Spring is here with Lily and Leah. One sunny morning, Lily, the little white bunny, woke up to the soft sounds of birds singing outside her cozy burrow. She twitched her nose and saw bright colors peeking through the grass. "Spring is here," she whispered happily. She hopped outside and saw her best friend, Leo the orange kitten, chasing fluttering butterflies near the flower garden. "Come play with me, Leo," Lily called. Together, they decided to explore the magic of spring all around them. As Lily and Leo wandered through the meadow, they found bright yellow daffodils nodding in the breeze and little bees buzzing busily from flower to flower. "Look at the bees, Leo. They're helping the flowers grow," said Lily with a big smile. Leo watched the bees closely and tried to be very quiet so he wouldn't scare them away. The friends felt happy to see how everything was waking up and becoming bright and warm again. Suddenly, a gentle breeze carried the sweet scent of blossoms, and Leo spotted a tree full of pink cherry flowers. "Let's go see the blossom tree," he said excitedly. They reached the tree just as petals began to flutter down like soft pink snow. Lily twirled around, catching petals on her nose, and Leo tried to catch them with his paws. The friends laughed and danced, feeling the magic of spring all around them. As the sun started to set, Lily and Leo sat by a sparkling little pond, watching frogs hop and dragonflies zoom above the water. "Spring is full of wonderful surprises," said Lily softly. Leo purred in agreement, feeling happy and sleepy after their adventure. They promised to explore more of spring's magic together every day. With hearts full of joy, they knew that this bright season would bring many more fun adventures soon. The brave face of Benjamin. Benjamin was a little boy who loved to play, but sometimes he felt shy when he met new friends. One sunny afternoon, while exploring his backyard, he found something sparkling under the big oak tree. It was a magical mask. The mask shimmered with colors of the rainbow and seemed to sparkle with a friendly glow. Curious and excited, Benjamin picked it up and gently placed it on his face. Suddenly, he felt a warm, brave feeling inside him. With the brave mask on, Benjamin felt like he could do anything. He smiled wide and walked over to the garden where his bunny was nibbling on a carrot. "Hello, bunny," he said confidently. The bunny twitched its nose happily and hopped closer. Benjamin giggled as he realized that the mask made him feel bold, but his true bravery was in being kind and friendly to his animal pals. Next, Benjamin decided to climb the big tree with the tire swing. Even though he usually felt scared of heights, the brave mask gave him courage. Up and up he climbed, holding tight to the branches. When he reached the tire swing, he swung high into the air, laughing with joy. The bluebird sang happily from a nearby branch, cheering Benjamin on. It was the most fun adventure Benjamin ever had. As the sun began to set, Benjamin took off the magical mask and looked at his reflection in a little puddle. He smiled because he knew something very important. The brave face was not just the mask, it was inside him all along. Benjamin felt happy and proud to be himself, ready to make new friends with or without the mask. And from that day on, he always remembered that true bravery comes from the heart. The Sunshine Puppy. Once upon a time, in a beautiful meadow, there lived a puppy named Sunny. He was no ordinary puppy. His fur shimmered like the sun, and wherever he went, he brought warmth and happiness. Every morning, Sunny would wake up with a wagging tail, ready to greet the day with joy. He loved to play with his friends, the bunny named Bella, the kitten named Max, and the squirrel named Sammy. One sunny day, Sunny decided to take his friends on an adventure. "Let's explore the meadow," he barked happily. They bounced and scampered through the colorful flowers, giggling and playing tag. Sunny's bright light made the flowers bloom even brighter, and soon, butterflies danced around them in the warm sunshine. Suddenly, they heard a soft whimper. It was a little bird stuck in a bush. Sunny and his friends gathered around. "Don't worry, little bird, we'll help you." With a gentle nudge of his nose, Sunny used his warm light to guide the bird out of the prickly branches. The bird flapped its wings in joy and chirped a sweet song to thank them. With the bird safe and sound, the friends danced in circles, singing songs of joy. Everyone in the meadow joined in, celebrating the kindness of Sunny and his friends. From that day on, Sunny not only brought sunshine, but also happiness and friendship to everyone around him. The little Skua's Scavenge. High above the chilly, rocky shore, a little Skua named Suki flapped her wings with excitement. Today was her very first big scavenging adventure. She looked down at the sparkling blue sea and the craggy rocks below, where shiny shells and tasty treats might be hiding. Suki's bright eyes twinkled as she imagined all the fun she would have discovering treasures to eat and maybe even some new friends to meet. Suki swooped down and landed on a big smooth rock. There, she spotted a shiny crab scuttling quickly toward a little tide pool. "Hello, crab. Have you seen any yummy food around here?" Suki chirped. The crab clicked happily and pointed its claws toward some seaweed and small fish washed up near the water's edge. Suki's beak curved into a smile. She was already learning where to find her favorite snacks. Just then, two colorful puffins waddled over, their bright orange beaks bobbing as they chatted. "Are you looking for food too?" one asked with a cheerful squawk. Suki nodded happily. The puffins showed her a secret spot where the waves left behind tasty snacks like bits of seaweed and small shells hiding tiny creatures. Suki felt so lucky to have new friends helping her on her scavenging adventure. With a happy chirp, Suki found a shiny shell that was home to a tiny hermit crab. She gently nudged it and said, "Hello, little friend. I'm glad we found each other." The hermit crab waved its tiny claw, and Suki felt her heart swell with kindness and joy. The day was full of surprises, friendship, and plenty of delicious snacks for a little Skua's big adventure. The Curious Kitten's Tale. Once upon a time in a cheerful little neighborhood, there lived a curious kitten named Whiskers. With her soft white fur and bright green eyes, she loved to explore every nook and cranny around her home. One sunny morning, as the birds chirped a happy tune, Whiskers peeked out of her cozy garden. "What adventure awaits me today?" she wondered, her tiny tail twitching with excitement. With a quick leap, Whiskers darted down the garden path. She spotted her friend Benny the bunny hopping by. "Where are you going, Benny?" she asked. "I'm off to find the biggest carrot in the garden. Want to join me?" Whiskers' eyes sparkled with excitement. "Oh yes, let's go together." And off they hopped, side by side, giggling and chasing butterflies. As they searched high and low, they met Leela the wise owl, who was perched on a branch. "Hello, Whiskers and Benny. What brings you to my tree?" she hooted. "We're looking for the biggest carrot," exclaimed Benny. Leela smiled. "I saw a giant carrot over by the big oak tree, but be careful, there might be some surprises along the way." Excited by the news, Whiskers and Benny hurried towards the oak tree, but suddenly they heard a rustling sound. Out popped Sammy the squirrel, his bushy tail twitching. "What are you two up to?" he asked. "We're on a mission for the biggest carrot," Whiskers replied. Sammy grinned. "I love carrots. Can I join you?" With a cheer, the three friends continued their journey together. At last, they reached the big oak tree, and there it was, a giant carrot glowing in the sunlight. The friends cheered and danced around it. They learned that the greatest treasure wasn't just the carrot, but the fun they had together and the friendship they shared. Whiskers purred happily, knowing that her curiosity had led her to the best adventure of all. Spring is here with Lily and Leah. One sunny morning, Lily the bunny woke up with a big stretch. "Hooray, spring is here," she squeaked, hopping out of her cozy burrow. She dashed to find her best friend, Leo the little bear. "Leo, come see all the beautiful flowers." Leo lumbered over, his eyes sparkling. "Wow, Lily, look at all the colors," he exclaimed. The meadow was a rainbow of tulips, daisies, and daisies dancing in the gentle breeze. The two friends laughed as they rolled in the grass, feeling the warm sun on their fur. Suddenly, a flurry of butterflies fluttered by. "Look, Leo, they want to play," shouted Lily. The butterflies danced around them, and the two friends tried to catch them. They giggled and twirled as the butterflies led them on a merry chase across the meadow. At the end of their adventure, Lily and Leo flopped down on the soft grass, tired but happy. "Spring is the best," said Leo, panting. "Yes, I love playing with you, Leo," replied Lily. Together, they watched the butterflies as they danced in the sunset, knowing this was just the beginning of their springtime fun. The Odyssey of Charlie and Chloe. One sunny morning, Charlie the kitten and Chloe the puppy woke up feeling extra adventurous. The forest near their home sparkled with tiny magical lights, and the air smelled like sweet wildflowers. "Let's go on a big adventure today," said Charlie with a happy purr. Chloe wagged her tail and barked, "Yes, let's explore the sparkling forest and see what wonders we can find." Off they went, their paws softly padding on the mossy ground, ready for the day's surprises. As they wandered deeper into the forest, Charlie spotted a trail of glowing butterflies fluttering just ahead. "Look, they're leading us somewhere special," he whispered. Chloe followed closely, her nose twitching with curiosity. The butterflies danced above a small, shimmering lake that sparkled like diamonds under the sun. "Wow!" Chloe exclaimed. "Let's dip our paws in the water and see if it feels as magical as it looks." Together, they splashed gently, giggling as cool water tickled their toes. Suddenly, a friendly frog hopped out from behind a lily pad and croaked, "Welcome, brave explorers. If you solve my riddle, a treasure of friendship will appear." Charlie and Chloe looked at each other with big smiles and nodded eagerly. The frog asked, "What can you catch but never throw?" They thought hard, then Chloe barked happily, "A cold." "Right," laughed the frog. "Your answer is full of fun and friendship." And just like that, sparkling hearts floated up from the lake, surrounding Charlie and Chloe with warm, glowing light. They felt happy and proud, knowing their adventure was full of magic and friendship. As the sun began to set, Charlie and Chloe sat on a soft patch of grass, watching the sky turn pink and orange. "What a wonderful day," said Charlie, curling up beside Chloe. "I'm so glad we went on this adventure together," Chloe said with a happy sigh. They knew that with each other's friendship, every day could be a grand odyssey full of fun, laughter, and magic. And so, under the twinkling stars, they dreamed of many more adventures to come.